Here we go. He says, Kavanah the Kavah B'Shasa B'Gefa. This is a Kavanah. Now we're going to drop down to number Resh Ayin Hey down below. That's where I have my mark. So he says, all right, is that where I put my mark? Start here, Resh Samach Tes. Let's start Resh Samach Tes. I don't know. Let's go in here. Okay, let's start there. Gam Tov L'Kaveh B'Zmana B'Gefa Tamid B'Kol Rega El Shem Zeh HaKodesh. And he pronounced it. Now, we did go through this yesterday, a little bit. I think we're doing the like print here particularly. He says, Bizmana begefa chas v'shalom. Tov ma'od l'kaven l'shmira b'zeh Hashem HaKodesh. And he writes, it's the word negef, which is menukad in a certain way. Well, we said with u, let's see, how close can I see this? Let's see. U, E, and A. That's what it is. That's the sounds underneath it. Let's go. Hanikud. Here we go. Hanikud shel Shem Negev. So the nikud that we're putting there. Hu b'tzir shel tenuas ha'osio shelo dahainach b'gimel nun b'shurek and he says gazeh and nun with the kubuts like that. That's it. The gimel has a hirik, looks like that, and the face of feast has a tseri, it looks like that. So he said, Haram Mevayer Lana Inyan Hato Elas the Kavan B'Shem HaKodesh. This name now, what can you accomplish with this holy name? So he writes, he says, let me just lift it up. There we go. He says, Kisod HaDeverhu, the secret of the Dever is what? Is this concept. What is ki bar minan? He says, Harab mevorer ge'ez. Now he wants to tell us, Anta rabesiva achas, shemach nesecha bebecha b'makas dever bar minan. Now we went over this yesterday. I guess we at least in the bold print. Arba mini miluyim shehem, which is av sag mau ben. We'll go through that real quickly, and we know what those are all about. He says, "Vuhu begematria ben." Okay, that last one. And when they stop shining, now he means the havaya part of the spread of the light. That's the source of the energy. When that stops, you're stuck with the abandoned light. I guess that's what I would call it. Let's read from Reshai and Dalit. Oz misnalkim ba'osiosim ba'peshuta. So what happens is the pashut leaves. Kasher habeilo arbacha b'vayos edim meirim oz osiosehim. All their wizard of shel arbacha b'vayos peshutos shehem arba pamim ku, which is 4 times ku, 52, 52, 104. All of that number nisnalkim mahamiluyim shalachem. They leave. They pull out from their miluyim. So now all you have is the milui. So there's something there. But nisharna miluyim shalachem levan kasher yotzach arba chavayis peshuta shehem arba pamim ku. But nisharim raka arba miluyim shel chavayis bilvad shehem ata befarish arav misbach hacheshbon shel the beluga ben nisharna mechashemos la'achar shemechasrim mechem es osio sechem. But peshutos are after we've taken out the peshutos. What do you got? He says you have the name Mu in the first one, so let's go Meg Shem Mu Havachat b'Mibul Yudin. So because that's Mu, so he says peshutos. I'm skipping around. Then the next one is Laz. I'm going to skip that one too. And then the next one is Yat, which is going to skip the explanation. These are just the Melus, and the last one is Ku. So he says take 26 from 52, you get 26. Shem Kavaya b'Milui Hein Shuku b'Gematria Ben. Kishatata b'Mandach b'Mizvach b'Vay Peshuta. So when you remove from it the Pesut Pirata Shu b'Gematria Ku, you still got Ku. So it's a that's an interesting idea anyway. It means that when you take everything, the last one really refers to Malchus, or the broken vessels and things like that. You still have a bit of godliness within inside of it, even when you take away the Pasha, that the Ko is still there. And yeah, call a Ko. He said, it comes to Gematria 122. Now, what are we doing here? He's telling us that what do you have when you the concept of a negative is the concept that the ikr is not there. All you have is the outside. So each one of them has a kolo. Shall arba shebas halalu. You get to the number 132. Oz who who olo the mizbar kalif. And he says, whatever klaus kulam, and if you put them all together, mizbar echad noisiv, add another one on. Keneged a klaus shall call arba b'shemas biyachad. So you take a kolel from each one of them, and this is a kavana he's telling us. This is what you have to think about. You get to the number 133. What is number 33? Number Resh Pei Zayin. He said Kaminyan Shem Negev. That's actually the gematria of the word Negev. Negev is 50 is 133. 50 and 80 plus 3. That's 133. Kuflam and Gimel Hu Kumizbech B'Shem HaKodesh Negev. So now remember that we have an unusual or a different kind of vocalization than we normally do. So since we see that these left, so what do you have left? You have only the outer shell, which is subject to the worst possible things. It's just, that's what it's all's left, is the shell. He says the inner workings are not there. I heard this drush from Breslov the other day that was talking about in a time like we lived in, and we've been living through a time in which, everybody, the majority of Jews have abandoned Torah. He says that the only thing that could save us now is the light of Kesser. I just want to throw that in. It's the light of Kesser because we're beyond the thing is so bad that this tremendous light has to come in. So we're praying for that. So in order to save ourselves. So what do we have to do? Negative. So the concept is that you're going to have a kavana on this name, but it's going to be vocalized. He said, negative. As so what is this? What we're doing is you're saying, when you say the word negative, and he has an unusual vocalization of it, he said what you're actually doing is this is the name of the 4 miluyim. Whoa. I'm concentrating. I want to this time it happens, I'll call you back on the next one. I'm in concentrating, and I don't know where you're holding, but I don't see I don't see that it's going off. Let's go back to neighbor Reish Sadik. The Kavod B'Shem Anizgar, so should have the Kavana on this name, the name which actually is the name of the combined Miluyim. So how is it that you're taking their gematria, and basically you're sweetening or you're changing the negative as a result of this kavana? Also with the kavana, I don't know if he's going to tell us a little bit more. I don't remember if he's going to tell us more about the nekudos. But the kavod b'shem b'kodesh negev. Hakavana he's wants to spell it out. The kavod b'shem b'kodesh negev kedei l'saken as arba shebas anal. And to bring into these 4 miluyim as the arba vayas peshutos the lachabram yachad. Don't forget that part. So you start up with the negative part of it, and then your kavana is to bring in now the rest. That is that what we're trying to say is that name Yud Ke Vav Ke. We have to try to bring it back into this situation. That's our kavana. Shlemos, a Malayos, a kol tuv. Then we'd have all the kinds of goodness that they don't have, and a half a kol raw, the matok, so all the bad will go to sweet. V'zechet v'kesed v'kapurim. This v'zet lashon. There's apparently a sefer which I'm not familiar with, which is the kesed kapurim v'yakavin. So then you have this when you say the word negif, but you don't pronounce it. I guess I don't know. It would be nu, and then a letter gi, and then fesofit. He said like that, pronounced like that. Nusach acher. And then he has another one which is basically the same thing, but it has a shurik in it. Is nun is nu, and then gi, and then Fe, so Fi. V'yakavim gematria, v'yakavim gematria, of this would be the gematria on this, which is the gematria 46. So this would be the gematria of that, Milui Av, and then the next one, Vav Dalad Yud Aleph Vav Yud, Milui Sag. Apparently this is a part of where you're supposed to see that, because he put, in other words, when I first looked at this, I was thinking, what is he telling me here? So I have to count it up. I realized he's talking about 46, then he's talking about 37, and then he's the Vav Aleph. Those are all the Maluyim on the Milui Ma. And then the next Vav Dalet Hey Vav Hey Milui Ben. Sacha Kol Gematria Kuf Kaf Ches. So what does it come out to be? It comes out to be 128. So moving along here, where are we holding? Okay, we're at time right. Gematria Hadalad. You have the idea here now. With you're putting in your mind the gematria, the Dalad Ben Loim She'olam 128, and then going back to the formula that he said before. You added the Dalad Kololim, which gives you the 132, and the Kolel of the whole thing, the Klalos of all of them, it gives you one more, it gives you 133, committed to Shem Negev. So it seems to me, just parenthetically, because I'm always struggling with the idea of why, because I'm always asking why, and Rabbi Memran saying, don't ask why. I don't know if that, I'm trying to think, maybe I could think of another word besides why. But here you see over here that this is all a formula, which if I had to make up this formula and pull all these kololim in and so on and so forth, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. He's telling me that's what to do. Committed the Shem Negev, v'yakavin b'chavavayz b'shuta b'zechot kuf kaf ches miluyim kazeh. You look at it like this. Then you say like this, and you pair them up. You take the yud. This is actually the technique. You say the word Hashem, and then you say the milui that goes with mu. Then you say Hashem again, or your kavana is on the name, trying to bring that name and attach it to the milui of Sag. Then you do the Chavaya, and then for the milui of Ma. Of the Dekavin Elah Miloyim V'im Dalad Kololim Gematria Kolav. So again, the Klalos Kulam Gematria Kolav goes like that. Kamizbach Hashem Negev, which is the same thing, but we're vocalizing it differently. And I was hoping that he was going to tell me where he borrowed that. Maybe he did, and I forgot. But where he borrowed those nekudos from. And so then he shows it to you that if this is the ultimate, what you want to do is bring out the entire milui on each one of them of Av, Sag, Ma'u, Ben. So he said, no safas. Now he's going to tell us other things, more stuff. So let's see, what number are we on? Or so we're still up there. No safas. Shebekochem, that the power that they had levatal the megefas adever bar minan. V'lechein ya'amba b'kol yom kodem atefila posuk zeh, so that you should say this posuk every single day during a negev. So he says, let me just read that again. He says, L'chein ya'amar b'kol yom kodem atefila, before davening posuk zeh. So posuk, what posuk is he talking about? Posuk zeh. What pasuk was he talking about? Okay, so I guess he means just this. I'm not sure what he meant. Okay, now I'm going to call back. Go like this, go like that. Okay. What the heck happened there? Try it again. Weird. Hello? You there? You got your back now. Okay. All right, we're on number Resh Sadi Bet. Now the last thing he said that, maybe I forgot it. He says, the battle is a begefa, just a line right above Resh Sadi Bet. He says, a begefa the dever b'parminan, v'chein yom b'kol yom kodem b'tefila posuk zeh. So I'm not sure what pasuk he's talking about. Did I miss it? So let's go on. Amba b'kol yom kola b'defida b'pasuk zeh gam came yasher v'chafoch v'ani asher uzucho uzucho v'arein. So this is the pasuk. V'ani asher uzucho. So I'll sing about your strength. V'arein, and I will dance and sing l'boker in the morning chazdecha because of your kindness. Kichayisim mizgavli umanos biyarli. So it was like what? A fortress for me. It was like a fortress beyond Sarli. Like now, we're in Sar. So he said, lead Sar. I have Sar. Biyom. So now he goes it backwards. So lead Sar. Biyom umanos li miskav. Hayisi ki hascha leboker va'areinen Azcha Asher Va'ani. Now, this I saw in the the colored sitter, Rishash sitter. He has some other things like this, and the interesting thing about it is he says you have to do it forward and backwards. In the phrase Atar Seserli in the Zohar, I saw that he says that is one that you can say forwards 3 times and then say backwards 3 times. And basically, the Zohar says the same thing forward and backwards. That's one there. So the question is, why forward? Why backwards? Why do you need the backwards part? So here, apparently, this sefer called Kesef Kapurim talked about this. So he said, so he says, I'm really in doubt about this. He says that the writer, he says, Vigdor, if you say it one time, Yashar, v'hafoch, and then you do the opposite. V'chein b'pam beis shlishi, so you do the same thing 3 times. You do the front, then you do back. You do front, you do back. Oh, dilma gimel pamim yashar v'achakach gimel pamim hafoch. Now that's the way that I do it. So it's interesting that is on that one pasuk that I know about. V'chaderek harisha. Iker medechsa v'rav la'el, which is what? You do front, then you do back. You do front, you do back. You do front, you do back, like that. But pasuk kach l'chol samim, from this pasuk which says kach l'chol samim. V'tom b'chol gimel pa'amim yasher v'achar kach gimel pa'amim l'mafreya. So wait a minute, which is the first one? So that sounds like the first one is saying it 3 times front, 3 times back. Al kacha kedahocha midahocha. The dakdeg belishona. So let me see. He said ba'achakach gimel pamim lemafreya al karchos, and therefore it's necessary midahocha from here to dakdeg belishona to be very careful about what you're saying. I know mina shekan lo ARI bakach. So I'm not sure what that meant. Midahocha dakdeg belishona. Minah shekan minah, that word I said shekan lo ARI bakach. It doesn't say that elish bakol pam. So he says that's not the way to do it. Tishlum gimel pamim. The way to do it is first front, then back, front, then back, front, then back. Yasher gimel pamim, and you shouldn't say it just 3 times going straight. And then you turn it around 3 times backwards. So this is what you do. He's going to spell it out for us, so we might as well hear it. Vani asher uzecho, ashir uzecho. V'aran the boka chaznechu kichayisa the mizgav li umanos biyom sarli. Then he says it again. Lead sar biyom umanos li mizgav yisi ki chazdecho leboker v'aran uzecho asher v'ani. So that's here. It is possible to understand it both ways. Okay, so the Meshem Rav Gadol Zal. Now that's an unusual phrase to me. He's referring to the Rav. He said, befriend the great rabbi. He says, the Marchu Hebi Od Pesukim B'Shem Barizal Lomer B'Zman B'Gefa Barminan. So now he's going to tell us more things that we could say at this time. So now, after you say Pita Makatoras every day, Yom Pesukim Shemavur Lukamon. So now we're going to go into these Pesukim that were explained up above. Okay, so let's we'll go back to Reish Sadi Gimel, and that's where we will start tomorrow. That's Hashem with this, and let's see if I could get in today is what, the 9 Chesh. 84. Okay, let me stop that there, and